Hi everybody, this is to guide you through the proposal paper to understand the prompt, directions, and kind of the goal of this assignment. So ultimately the title kind of tells you what we're doing here, which is a proposal paper. So when we hear that word proposal, that means something. If we kind of automatically associate that with something like a marriage proposal, and we kind of envision that, when someone is proposing, right, they present the ring and they present the reasons why they believe they should get married. Oh, I've loved you so long. Oh, you're my partner. Oh, whatever the reasons are, right? And we give a lot of reasons to accept that proposal. That's essentially what we're doing here in this paper. So in this paper, our prompt tells us that we are selecting a problem facing your industry, and I have provided kind of a chart that comes up with a bunch of different issues for each individual field of interest. So you're going to pick one of those problems, but the focus of the essay is actually on the proposal. You're going to be proposing a solution to one of these problems that you've selected. So your goal is to present this solution, this proposal for a solution, and then prove that it's a viable solution. Why should someone implement this solution? Why do we know it would work? So you're going to look at a bunch of different things like other countries, other companies, past policies that are similar that have worked. So you're going to kind of investigate what is the evidence out there that would prove that this solution will work to solve this problem. That's the focus of the paper. One of the reasons why students struggle with this so much is sometimes we get caught up in talking about the problem, but that's only a very, very small part of this paper. The focus of this paper needs to be on the solution and proving that the solution can work, because it's a proposal. It's not an informational paper. So make sure we're very careful with that. So for this essay, we'll be writing a proposal paper selecting a major societal problem facing your semester topic industry. Your goal is to propose and prove a viable solution for the issue. Okay, so you're going to have to kind of pick who are you writing to. I know in the back of your head you're writing to me, but ultimately you need to think about who is your audience. Who would be implementing this proposal? Is it a manager of a company? Is it a government policy? So you're writing to someone in the government. That's kind of something you have to figure out. Remember, as we do this unit, we talk about the rhetorical situation and how audience, author, and purpose need to align for your argument to be successful. So you've got to think about who are you writing to, what arguments would work to convince that person to implement your proposal. Okay. The following sections are the parts of the essay. So we'll start with the introduction of the topic, and this would be where you're introducing the problem. That is the topic. So you would give background information or historical information on the problem. When did it start? How has it progressed over time? And you want to kind of move into the current standing of the problem. Where is it now? What are people doing about it currently? Why is it such an issue right now that you selected it as something that needs to be solved? Okay, so that's going to be kind of the beginning part. This is also the only place in the essay that we talk about the problem. That's it. We use it to introduce the topic, but remember that the focus is on the solution. So then we move into the main argument section. This is going to be where you're going to present your solution. What are the reasons you know this solution can work? Again, that comes through your research. You've got to look at what are other companies doing, what are other countries doing, what are experts in the field saying as to why this solution can work. You're going to have to come up with two main arguments to prove why this solution can work. Okay. After that, we move into the opposition and counter argument. So in this scenario, you're making a proposal for a solution. So the opposition to that is kind of two options. Option one is, why are people against that solution? That's the direct opposition. This solution obviously isn't implemented in the world today. Why? Are people against it? What are the reasons for being against it? The other option in this type of paper, because you're saying, here, implement this solution, it's the best. The other way to think about the opposition would be to talk about other solutions that are out there. So that's kind of the way to look at the opposition. So in this kind of paper, we don't want to just switch sides. That would be very weird to read through 4 paragraphs, then all of a sudden you switch sides on yourself. So you have to remember that whenever we address the opposition in writing, that always comes with what's called the counter argument. And this is where you have to refute the other side or argue against them. It always, always comes back to your side, your topic, your point of view. It brings balance to your paper when you show the opposition, but if we just leave the arguments for the opposition without countering them, without refuting them, then you've lost credibility on your side. So we use the opposing view to actually make our side stronger. So you've got a balance of both in there. The last section is then the conclusion. We're bringing the essay to a close. We're leaving our reader with a lasting thought, and the reader should understand what action they should be taking. Remember, being a proposal, this should be the steps that someone is implementing to implement your proposal. And then, of course, we end with a works cited page because we want to make sure that we are not committing plagiarism and keeping that validity there. This is your requirements section, so it is important that we stay in MLA format. There also is a requirement in this paper that we highlight the first word of each source on your works cited page and then highlight the matching in-text citation. This is 1, your way of checking your MLA, and then 2, your way of showing me that you knew how to craft in-text citations and you can show me that your sources are matching and used properly in the essay. Your minimum word count is 1,000 words. All sections of the essay are present and we are answering the prompt. So this is a proposal paper proposing a solution, not an informational paper talking about a problem. So make sure that we are writing to the prompt. In our main argument section, we need at least 2 main arguments with at least 2 sub-arguments to prove them. More is always allowed, but that is the minimum. We then need that opposing view and counter argument where we're addressing at least 2 oppositions and countering them. We then have our concluding section and works cited page. In total, you need 5 sources. 4 of them have to come from the research methods I'm teaching in this unit. So as we go through our brainstorming and research assignments, you're going to be asked to do different research sources. So some of them will be on CQ Researcher, Issues and Controversies, Gale Academic OneFile, Gale Global Context, all of these different databases and PVCC library searches, and that is where your sources need to come from. So I do have to check that there will be alignment through the writing process, through your brainstorming, through your outlining, through your researching, that we're using that to build towards our final copy. Your next one is then integration of research. We do practices throughout this unit that go over direct quote, paraphrase, and summary, and when to use those different forms of integrating research. It should be primarily integrated through paraphrasing and summarizing. Direct quote should be used sparingly, and we don't want our Turnitin.com score to be above a 40%. If we're overusing direct quotes or we're not using the Toulmin model, that score is going to come back higher, and we want to avoid that. The last thing is then the Toulmin model. We want to make sure that we are using that claim grounds warrant model to structure our arguments. This will also stop the research from overtaking our writing because the research is only in that grounds section. It's not in our claim or warrant. Okay. The last little section is then your prior student samples, so you can kind of look at those and see the parts of the essay. Specifically, most students say that that opposing view and counter argument section is one of the hardest. So read through your peer samples and see how did they approach those paragraphs, and that will kind of help you to be a model for your own. Lastly, we have our rubric, which walks you through the different parts of how I'm grading it. You can always come here and use this as a way to grade yourself. And kind of give yourself a score in each category and see where you end up. The basic components are all there: intro, conclusion, and then qualities of writing, voice, conventions, word choice, and sentence fluency. Then I'm looking at our coverage of topic. What kind of research sources are we using? How are we using in the paper? Does it seem like you've gone in depth with researching your topic? Organization, MLA, meeting those essay requirements. Elements of persuasion, are we crafting good arguments in there? The use of the Toulmin model, addressing those opposing view and counter argument, thesis statement, and how we're integrating that research. Okay, so those are all parts of the rubric that are listed there. You are welcome to peruse them and grade yourself throughout the writing process to make sure you're consistently meeting those demands. Overall, this is our highest point value assignment. It is weighted at 200 points, and it is weighted in that major assignment category, which is 50% of your overall grade. So this does move you quite a bit. As always, if you need any help, please keep in mind that there are a bunch of help options for you. You can come in for office hours and you can email me. The library has the 24-hour, 7 days a week chat, which can help with research or citing. And then we do have our Writing Center on campus through the Learning Success Center, which has free tutoring where you can go in for editing, you can go in for research, you can go in for MLA. They help with it all. They do in-person and virtual appointments as well. So lots of help resources. This is our hardest, most difficult paper. And kind of it still moves very quickly. We move straight from researching to brainstorm to outlining. So it's very important that we keep up with this unit because it can become overwhelming very quickly. But please reach out and know that I'm here to help you. Thank you.